Craftsman Days are here at Lowe's with big savings on the tools you need. Save $100 on the Craftsman V20 6-Tool Power Tool Combo Kit, now at $199. No matter what the project is, Craftsman's high-quality, high-performance products empower you to build on. Stop by your nearest Lowe's store and check out the full line of Craftsman tools today. Valid through 6/18 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Always follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Busy hour on tap, including a plethora of props to discuss on the betting board for tonight. We'll get into baseball, hockey. Bottom of the hour, we have College World Series. Small card today, one game later on tonight, and then a bunch of games tomorrow as well. Pauly will start this hour talking about what happened last night in the NBA Finals. And simply put, I mean, the Pacers stole one. 19 turnovers in the first half, 25 for the game, down by a dozen points at halftime. Should have been 20, 25 points. Thunder could not take advantage. SGA gave you 38 points. Lou Dort hit 5 threes. He was tremendous on the defensive side of the ball. Caruso had a fantastic game. And you led for every single second but the final 0.3 seconds of the game. And you allowed the Pacers to sneak into your building and do the unthinkable. And now we have ourselves a series. And guess what? The Pacers had open threes last night, and they hit them. Surprise, surprise.
Yep, unlike Minnesota, unlike Denver. And that's another reason why you got to be loving life if you're Indiana. To go 18 of 39 from three, you shoot 46%, and you're 40% overall in the playoffs. And again, I was still shocked with what transpired, even though they did it again. They're 5-3 in the playoffs when they're down 15 points. Teams previously were 0-121, going back down 7+ in the last 3 minutes. And they're down 9 with 2:52 and find a way to get it done. Halliburton makes the shot again. Carlisle, remember, ties the record going back. The 2011 Mavs were also down 15 in the fourth quarter. They won the game. Carlisle was the coach there as well when they beat Miami. It's like you said earlier that the odds, true odds, 75 million to 1. When you look at probability and what they were down in all these comebacks to do this time and time again. But from an OKC standpoint, I can't believe I'm 80-18 on the season. I'm a huge favorite. I have the better team on paper, and I'm tinkering with the lineup, and I'm going small.
Unreal.
And I'm taking my bigs off the floor. Now, Chet was horrendous. But for him to play 24 minutes and Hartenstein gets 17, I don't know what Dagnaut's doing. It doesn't make any sense to me. And they were 36-1 at home, and they were up 15 in a game. That falls to 36-2. Now we'll see what we have from adjustments. They're saying all the right things. So the same thing happened against Denver. We won in 7. We responded and blitzed them in game 2. This is a deep team. They got a ton of guys can score, and they got a ton of guys that can shoot. And you saw 6 guys in double figures. As you pointed out, Siakam led him with 19. You don't know who's going to get you because there's so many guys.
Last night, Obi Toppin. Now, that probably won't happen again. In fact, I would bet on that. I mean,
fair enough, right? But that's right. But then
somebody else might.
That's right. Whether
could
it's
be
a
Mathurin.
Neesmith, sure. A Mathurin, a Neesmith, whoever. It could be a Nemhard. And so Obi doesn't go off. It can be somebody else. And who knows, maybe if it's a Shepherd who can go and give me 12 points, something like that.
What's the comp here, by the way, for Daigneault doing that with the starting lineup? Would it be Dodgers make the playoffs, suddenly Ohtani's going to drop to 5th in the batting order? Well, I really like this idea because now Ohtani's going to be batting with runners on, even though he's been leading off for 2 years for us. Would it be
the Rich Gannon play? What Marty did with Rich Gannon?
Yanking him. He's Elvis Gerbach's got to be the quarterback.
Long winning streak.
You do not lose your job by an injury. Can't do it.
That's bizarre.
Gerbach's going to be the guy. Like the Tigers have plenty of rest. Skubal, you're not going to go in game 1. You're going to go in game 3. My analogy earlier was Floyd Mayweather, right? You know what he was going to do every single match. That would be like Floyd as a $9 favorite coming out against a guy he would beat like 100 times out of 100, and he goes, I'm gonna knock the guy out in the first round. Well, why would he do that? He's never had that idea ever in his head. And so I couldn't. And then late in the game, going small again. And pay attention to the box score, too. In a series against a team that you should dominate on the glass, that's one of your strengths here going in.
Ooh.
You're getting pummeled.
That was shocking.
And he's still going small?
Man. Nobody had that.
No.
Nobody had that.
Could not see that coming.
56-39 Indiana in rebounds. So I'm with you that Indiana played the worst half of basketball I've seen by them in quite some time. And overall, Pierre will set the record. for turnovers, and yet they still win the game. And that should have been a bigger lead than it was at halftime, which was only 12. 8-1 in clutch games. They've won 7 of 8 on the road. They keep doing this. 8.5-point dog against Cleveland, win. 8.5-point dog, win. 6.5 at New York, win. The stinker was the Game 5 game at the Garden. Other than that, they've been nails on the road. So now you can catch 11 on Sunday in Game 2. So maybe OKC blows them out. But the other thing, I don't know why SGA's taking that many shots. Now, Williams looked scared at times, standing in the corner, and he was 6 of 19. Chet, 2 of 9 doesn't help. But for the MVP to shoot 30 times, I would think that's what the Pacers want too. And I love the adjustments Carlisle made, where we're packing the paint, no free throw merchant. It's not going to be a parade to the free throw line, no easy baskets. You're going to have to knock stuff down from outside on us.
Yeah, and maybe Chet's just not that good.
That's correct.
He had zero impact on the game last night.
That's correct.
And we also got a message earlier as a reminder. They're like, hey, you remember, guys, Hartenstein? And I thought Hartenstein was really good last night. Like, how does he not get to the floor more than what he did 17 minutes overall? Bizarre to me. Somebody reminded us earlier today, don't forget Hartenstein was so good against the Pacers in the playoffs last year. He was dynamite. And file that one away. Dagnall should recognize that maybe the Pacers, it's a really good matchup for this guy here. So anyway, there's that. I thought it was going to be a Chet series. And I was wrong last night, paid the price by losing a bet on that. And now, I mean, the series price, is it going to be a 5-gamer still? Is it going under 5.5 games? And I'm saying that meaning, are the Pacers going to come back? Are the Thunder going to come back and win the next 4 games and end it 4-1?
I can't say that. No way, especially with their road issues. How about you cover a road game first?
I would think at this point, you got to you're feeling really good if you have over 5.5 games.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you have the Pacers plus 2.5 games, you got to be feeling damn good, because I'm with you.
Feeling damn good if you got them on a future or to win the series.
No doubt, Paul. I completely agree. Game 3, Game 4, whatever it is, based on how everything has gone so far, there's a good chance Oklahoma City's going to go to Indy, and it's not going to go well for them. And it probably won't be pretty. That needs to be said more. SGA was, I mean, I know the stat line, say what you want. I thought he was kind of bad last night.
Yeah.
It was hero ball.
Yep.
That's not who he is.
Nope. The other thing too now, and that sticks in your brain too, that sticks in your mind. You got to beat them 5 times. You got to win 5 of 7. And I said when the Knicks blew Game 1, you don't come back from something like that. That's just an all-time choke job. And they didn't. So that's OKC has the dudes to do it. But now you know, and maybe they can just cancel it out, blow them out in Game 2, and you're on to Game 3. But now you got to beat them 5 out of 7 because you gave away a game.
I'll give you one more. Somebody will say it, and I'm guessing it could be more than one person. If Indiana wins this series, people will say they're still not that good of a basketball team.
Well,
they will not want to give them credit.
Yeah, that's silly.
And what's going to be the go-to then? It's a fluke? You're gonna run through the Eastern Conference, the Cavaliers, the Knicks, all with home court, and then beat Oklahoma City and say, nah, not that good of a basketball team? That
can happen in old college football, NFL, whatever. I mean, it's one game, right?
Sure.
You could see 15-1 teams lose and upsets happen all the time. But with this, I mean, unless there's a catastrophic injury, you're talking about a best of 7, and then a best of 7, and then a best of 7, and a best of 7.
Yeah, their path.
They got the second best record in the league since January 1st.
That's exactly. People
what
forget
more do you
about
need?
that. Yeah. The path is not exactly similar to what Boston was given last year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was handed to them on a silver platter with the teams they played and the injuries they were going up against. That was an easy path for them. This has been anything but for Indiana. And now the screen here at Circa says 11. I think it said 10 moments ago. And I don't know. I fully expect Oklahoma City to win the game in Game 2 to bounce back, but I could not lay 11 points here.
Let's revisit something you mentioned yesterday, though. What's the series price if Indiana wins again? Is the Thunder still favored? Is it Boston, New York again? You lose the first 2 at home, you're still favored to win the series?
Well, what number would you want to bet Oklahoma City at that point? Would you bet Oklahoma City even money down?
I would not know. Pacers going to take them out then. But the other thing, too, is I think this is going to continue. Is it the guys you want to look at and attack, but with the 3-point props.
Oh, Shepherd again.
Dort was great. Caruso knocked some down. But you had so many guys that on Indiana that can shoot it, and they were 18 of 39 from 3. Most of these guys are only 1.5. And then if Indiana's going to pack the paint as well and say no free throws, no freebies, you prove it to us from the outside, right? Well, I don't think SGA is going to shoot that many times again. Then it's on Williams and these other guys if they're going to get involved and they're going to take more shots, so you can also grab them. And all these guys are also 1.5. And that could be also a way to attack it with all these props. Where these guys, Indiana's got several guys that can do it. I only have to make 2, and more guys on OKC I think will attempt them as well. I just don't know. Again, I don't understand why Isaiah Joe and some of these guys are getting major run in an NBA Finals when you're 80 and 18 and you're tinkering with the lineup.
Wiggins played multiple minutes last night. What was the one guy? Mitchell? Bieniek Mitchell, I think his name is. Played 4 minutes. Yeah. Why is he on the court?
Yeah.
What are we doing here, Dagnalt? And you're going to give Chet 23 minutes and Isaiah Hartenstein 17 minutes. I don't know. How about this, though, where Oklahoma City was the better team for all but 0.3 seconds last night, or I should say they were leading the game. You figure the bounce back in game 2. Would you look at maybe betting them to win the series by a game and a half now?
What's the price? I didn't look at that. I don't know. I think Indiana was terrible. I thought Halliburton was bad.
He was.
He was
it mattered most.
Yeah. Turner was aggressive. The bank was lucky. Siakam was great. Again, their leading scorer was Siakam with 19. It's just there's too many guys to worry about.
I think you're banking on Oklahoma City winning the rebounding battle moving forward, which I think probably will happen.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, will the Pacers turn it over 25 times?
No. That's the thing. That's not going to happen again. And that's why the lead should have been bigger than 12. It's even money at DraftKings, the -1.5. So Jay-Z could be out $1 million too, unless he runs the table.
You had him at 5?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. I think he can afford it. A plethora of props on the betting board next. Total bases, K props, shots on goal, and a 15-1 run we'll tell you about here on VSiN.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Game 2 tonight, Stanley Cup final at Edmonton. They have a 1-0 series lead, and they are, well, it depends on what book you're looking at, either a very tiny favorite tonight. I see 115. I also see a flat pick'em at some books that are using the smallest straddle on the planet. Westgate, I think, has $1.05 on both sides of this game tonight. Pauly, do you agree with that? Our guest earlier, Jeff from the Sharp Place, personally, he's like, I like Edmonton, is what he said. I
like their game to close out game 1, no doubt. I'm glad our guest, also Dennis, agreed with us too that goalie interference was huge. They call that. You wipe away the goal, and there's no power play because they lose the challenge. And I agree with Knobloch. You challenge that 10 out of 10. His guys had his back. It was reputation as well. Lundqvist nailed it on the broadcast. It was garbage. I don't care what Carter says and Gretzky, who I love, but that was shouldn't have counted. And then they dominated the third period and then got the game winner as well. So you're down 3-1. And again, they come back as much as the times they've done it in the playoffs as well. And you got to feel good about Skinner's game. And plus, they peppered Bobrovsky as well. So the people that won on that prop in the first game, you want to come back with it tonight, go ahead. I think that'll cash too. Edmonton's averaging 31 shots on goal their last 15 home games as well. So you can play his saves over tonight.
I had this thought, I don't know why, when I was watching the panel the other night after game 1 with Gretzky on it and Lundqvist is on it as well and some of the others. I thought, if those guys go out every once in a while, grab a beer, grab a bite, how often do you think the great one is saying, pass me the check?
Is it a regular basis?
I'm going to say once a month.
Lundqvist has a ton of money.
Oh, yes, he does. Absolutely.
I mean, he signed a huge deal.
It's the great one we're talking about, though.
I don't know. Maybe it works the other way. Wayne, you're not paying. You're my idol.
It could. Absolutely, it could.
Gretzky liked it. Well, his wife loved to gamble.
Yes, that's
a tough call.
Very true. Yes, no question.
That is a tough call.
Maybe he doesn't ever. It's either like
I don't know.
He could be awesome with it and he picks it up all the time, or it is like never. Like you're Wayne freaking Gretzky. You're not paying for anything here. So anyway, I thought about that for some dumb reason the other night when I was watching it. And tonight?
I don't know. I don't know the guy. That's a tough call. I think it might be work the other way. There's no way you're paying.
Yep.
Maybe he offers, but they shut him down.
It could be.
Yep.
Yeah, that very well could be.
Jonathan Davis has a good prop up, a good review as always, and a ton of props. He's playing the both teams on the puck line again, which is 11-1 run and 20 of 23. Loser in game one, though, but both teams on the puck line. He's playing and Ekholm over shot blocks, over 1.5, minus 130. 8 games in a row against the Panthers. He's blocked 2 shots or more.
Oh, very good. What do you want to do with the saves prop tonight, Mr. Goalie?
Bob over, but I don't know about Skinner.
Bob's 25.5, Skinner's 24.5. And you're saying that because you think Edmonton's just going to pepper the net the entire time again? They've been getting to 30-plus here in the playoffs?
Yes, based on the trend and what they've done against them. Right.
Look, Bennett's plus 230.
That's good, too.
This guy
leads the league, leads the goal and play, leads in playoffs. Yes,
that's right. Had 2 more in game one. I'm not going to equate this to the run that Ovechkin was on when he was trying, because they were doing whatever he could to get goals, but he was down to the plus 110 range a lot of those games to score a goal. Bennett's more than double that right now. Right, his counterpart tonight, Draisaitl, is plus 115. Is best number I could find anywhere today.
Yeah,
and that is double that for Sam Bennett. Man, that feels like a pretty good number here.
Yes. How about this? This was, they did this on Money Moves earlier. And we have Bennett in pocket, Conn Smythe. This was Stormy's rankings right now. Her ladder, Conn Smythe, how she would rank them. Not based on the odds, but who she thinks would win.
Okay.
Right now. And I thought her ladder was strong. Here's Stormy's Conn Smythe top 5 ladder. Draisaitl number 1, like you had, and then McDavid. Draisaitl's plus 450, McDavid's minus 150. Higher than that in some spots. Bennett number 3. I also have Bennett ahead of Bob now. Based on
you have to.
2 goals in game 1, leads in goals, and Bob gives up 4. Bennett 20-1, 18 at DraftKings. Bob 4-1. Skinner 75-1. I would think there's other guys now. I think Skinner's dropped down a little bit.
Oh, he's out of it.
But yeah, because that third goal was awful. What he gave up, that was a soft one. But then the other thing that's going to hurt him is you weren't there for the first 6 playoff wins. So I agree with Jonathan Davis. He probably had to have 3 shutouts, or at least stand on his head for 3 of the games. So I think she's got a good ladder there. I agree with that.
I think the top 4 are pretty much spot on.
Yes.
I don't know if, honestly, McDavid can be ahead of Draisaitl right now. Now, again, it can play out that way. He won it last year when they lost in the Stanley Cup final, which doesn't happen very often, obviously. But the run that Draisaitl is on right now with the 2 goals and the game winner the other night, at the end of the day, will goal scoring by Draisaitl supersede the assist by McDavid?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I think it will.
And I go back also to last week when Greg Wyshynski, ESPN.com, did a straw poll, and he talked to over 24 people who have a vote and cover it, and it was 71% had McDavid, and then the people who didn't have him first had him second, and Skinner was nowhere to be found. That was before game 1.
Right.
But we'll see. I think Bennett's got an excellent case.
I would say
the other thing is, go ahead.
I was going to say, if you don't have a bet on any of this right now, I would look at number 1 and number 3. Is that fair?
Yes.
And I might bet them both. Mm-hmm. Bet Draisaitl and Bennett. You could lose both, obviously, because McDavid might win this thing. He's 150 after all, and voters love this guy. But there is clearly a path at that plus money right now for both those guys or either one of those guys to win it, I should say.
And the people think it's going to be a high-scoring series, too. And 7 of the last 8 meetings have gone over. And we saw 4-3 in game 1, and it's 6.5 here, too. So Going back, the winner of game 1 wins the series 76% of the time. Edmonton 13-1, last 14 as a home favorite. And Florida, 9 straight road games, has scored 3 goals or more. That's a record. I thought the officials did a good job. Let them play. But I still insist that the special teams will decide this. Edmonton had the walk-off power play goal to win it. You had the Marchand power play goal that put them up 2-1. That was big. But Edmonton's penalty kill has been bad in the playoffs, 3rd worst. They've allowed now 17 power play goals. So how they officiate this and how they call it's going to be big. And also it was a fluke, though, too. It was the delay of game, shooting a puck over the glass, how Edmonton won it.
Yep. Here's a prop tonight in Major League Baseball. I'll run down a pretty hot streak. We'll call it that way. Rangers are playing at the Nationals, and this is the team I was talking about before the break. Starting pitchers are currently on a 15-1 overrun with their K-prop against Texas. It started back on May 16th. Framber Valdez for Houston struck out 8 Texas batters in that game. Here's the more important numbers, though. The Rangers' K rate since that date is 27.7%. That is the highest in Major League Baseball in the last 16 games. Higher than Colorado. It's 25.5% against righties. They're facing one tonight in Michael Soroka for the Nationals. I saw some projections on this earlier today. They have Soroka touching like 6, and it was 4.5 with his K prop a little bit earlier. Problem here, again, is it's going to be warm, balmy, and I lost a prop on that the other night, Zebby Matthews 4, and that was my biggest concern, right? Because that heat could get to a starting pitcher and could affect them innings-wise, pitch count-wise, effectiveness overall, like all that stuff. And so I have not bet Soroka. I just found that I don't really want to hop in on a 15-1 streak when it's the first time I recognized it, but just wanted to throw that information out there.
All right, it's back on now. We're back on. He was on, he was off, he's back. Sears is going to start for the A's. So that means Henderson and Rutschman props. Rutschman's hitting 400 against him. Henderson's hitting 550 against him. Ward's 4 of 10 against Miller. Edmonds hitting 444 against Gray. And Yelich is hitting 430 his last 11 games. Thanks to all the people who tweeted in. We'll be in touch. The first couple people that got it right will give you the free subscription to Sharp Place. The Detroit Pistons, the 03-04 team, 5-1 upset the Lakers. That was the correct answer to the trivia question. Want to bet smarter this football season? Become a VSiN Pro subscriber today. Get a full year, just $199, plus a free pre-order of the NFL Sharp Betting Playbook by Josh Applebaum. No-nonsense guide, reading the market, spotting sharp action, and making smarter NFL bets. You get the morning email from Bill 80, every best bet, every host, every guest, the betting splits, DraftKings and Circa, the dog videos, and our NFL betting guide, which drops July 1st. Limited time offer, VSiN.com/subscribe. Promo code BOOK to sign up, code BOOK, VSiN.com/subscribe.
All right, a lot of action going on tonight and this weekend. Stanley Cup, full baseball card, Game 2 tomorrow night, NBA Finals.
You get the note from Lou? One of those fights, his picks is off. The gal missed weight by 6 pounds.
Yeah.
What the hell's she doing? Mm-hmm. What are you doing? How do you miss weight by 6 pounds?
Decided to go out and have a couple of beers and eat a pizza late night.
Oh my God! I mean, that's on purpose. I mean, you're not even trying at that point. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean, they know, Paul. You can have your weight down to the ounce, the point, like 171.8, whatever. You know that when you're in that kind of racket. You know yourself, you know your body, you know how you train, you know what the food's going to impact.
That's how you get cut, too. I mean, White's got to be furious. I mean, that's asinine.
I mean, that's got to be one of the highest of all time, right?
That's a good question.
6 pounds?
What the record is?
You could probably
10,
tell when
11.
she was walking up. No offense. I'm not saying it because it's a girl. I'd say that about a guy, too. You could probably see it on a guy. Like, holy hell, pal, you're not going to make it. No chance. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Put your shirt back on.
Buster Douglas.
No kidding.
the media was going right to the sports book. He looked like he needed a bra.
College World Series up next. Noah Bieniek's going to join the program, Sports Gambling Podcast. What is he like tonight and tomorrow?
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Big weekend as well with college baseball. One game in the books earlier today. North Carolina trucked Arizona 18-2. A lot of people saw that one coming. Right now, bottom of the 8th, Louisville on top of Miami 8-1. And Florida State and Oregon State, Pauly, they're in the top of the 2nd. They are scoreless, and we head out here to the Progressive Guest Line to talk about betting on the College World Series. As Noah Bieniek joins the program now, he is with the Sports Gambling Podcast. Noah, thanks for the time today. How are you?
I appreciate you guys having me on the show. I'm excited to talk on college baseball. I'm having a great day. How about you guys?
Doing really well. Let's begin. Well, also, that's great to hear that you're having a great day. Let's begin with the game that just started now with the Seminoles and the Beavers. Again, scoreless, top of the 2nd. Is there something here that the audience trying to get a bet down potentially should pay attention to live?
Yeah, if you're looking for a live edge, the way that we've seen the first 2 games especially go is we saw North Carolina put up a lot of runs early. We saw Louisville put up a lot of runs early. both Miami and Arizona punted the game. So they didn't trot out some of their better bullpen arms. They're saving them for the rest of the series. If Florida State falls down early, they do not have the bullpen depth to really kind of pitch their way into keeping this a long scripted game. They need a good start here from Joey Vellini. If that left-hander comes off the mound for the Seminoles, I think that Oregon State could be able to pull away in this one.
Okay. How about Murray State and Duke? Duke a big favorite tomorrow. What do you want to do with this game, and if you see a lot of runs in this one?
I do see a lot of runs in this one. In the Oxford Regional last weekend, Murray State, as a 4 seed, was putting up runs left and right. It was very impressive going up against some really good pitching out of Ole Miss and Georgia Tech. They put up at least 8 runs in all 4 of the games they played against those 2 teams. Going up against Duke in this one, Murray State's in that final game of the Oxford Regional, they threw both their best starting pitcher and their second best starting pitcher in the regional final in order to advance into the series. So you're going to have both starting pitchers on short rest possibly for this first game. And it's not a great pitching staff to begin with for the Racers. The strength is that offense. So I'm looking at Murray State. If they continue what they were doing, there's like 6 lefties in that lineup. Jonathan Hogart at the top is a really good right-handed stick. Dustin Mercer was the Oxford most outstanding player. Like I said, they were putting up runs in each of these games. Duke's a very powerful offense as well. I think they'll very much support an over in this one, even if Owen Prosch goes all right for the Blue Devils to begin the game.
That's 10 a.m. tomorrow, and then at 2 o'clock Pacific, that's 10 a.m. Pacific rather, and then 2 o'clock Pacific Saturday, Tennessee and Arkansas, total 11.5. Also an over?
Yeah, I'm going to go over on this one too. This might be a little bit more surprising to college baseball listeners because this is supposed to be one of the best games that we're going to see all weekend. You got Liam Doyle projected to start. We don't know if he's actually going here. Zach Root was announced to be the starting pitcher here. Both of these guys have been the number ones in the rotations for a lot of the season. However, we just saw Arkansas and Tennessee play against each other in a series just 3 weeks ago. And both of these guys didn't have the greatest starts against these respective teams. And Liam Doyle on the road has a 5.17 ERA compared to his 2.84 season long. In that game against the Hogs, he was tagged in 4.1 innings for 8 runs, 6 of them earned on 11 hits. And then for Zach Root, the left-handed starter for Arkansas, he only went 3.2 innings, giving up 4 earned on 7 hits against Tennessee. Both offenses are super strong. You're looking at an Arkansas team that is one of the best offenses against left-handed pitching, which Doyle is a high-octane left-handed pitcher. But Arkansas's lineup, they've got a set of brothers in Vahiva Aloy, who might win the Golden Spikes. He's one of the 3 finalists, which is basically your Heisman Trophy for college football, for college baseball. And his brother Kahil Aloy, those 2 kind of lead that offense. They're batting .352 with a 10.59 OPS against left-handed pitching.
Let's follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Our guest, Noah Bieniek, and we're talking college baseball tournament. He is with the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, and he's on the Progressive Guest Line. I don't want to overreact to LSU's weekend a weekend ago, but you lost to Little Rock, and Little Rock was a 14-1 dog to win the game outright. They came back the next night. They're trailing like 5-1 before they had to come back to win. I also really liked what West Virginia did over the weekend. I thought they were impressive. So how do you want to approach their matchup starting tomorrow, which is at 2 o'clock Eastern?
Yeah, I'm actually going to approach this pretty aggressively. You mentioned that LSU didn't have the sharpest weekend, especially offensively. They have been prone to kind of sleepwalk in some games. This is a very talented team. This is honestly a team that I had playing for the national championship when we saw the bracket get announced. And they struggled with that draw, which I thought was a pretty easy one. Now you get a West Virginia team coming in here who, again, I'm going to quote some split stats here against left-handed pitching. The Mountaineers are hitting .347 with an OPS with a 972 OPS against Southpaws. And then Cade Anderson's been the best pitcher for LSU all season long. He's probably going to go here and get the nod for the Tigers. In this game, I mean, he's been great this season. 3.28 ERA, 2.33 ERA in his last 6 starts. However, West Virginia has not really seen this type of quality lefty. That's why there's still a long underdog shot in this matchup. But I think that this offense really impressed me in that weekend. They swept through the Clemson Regional. They were able to put up 12 or 13 runs in that final game against Kentucky, who has a good pitching staff. Give me the Mountaineers as a big underdog plus 230. They need to win this game in a lower scoring manner. And I think that Griffin Kern, their starting pitcher, could be able to keep this one in that lower scoring game script for them. If you're not as bullish on a straight up money line underdog play, the under 11.5 should be good if you're more you're reliant on Cade Anderson keeping his same form that he's been in for much of the year.
All right, and then tomorrow night, UTSA and UCLA. UCLA $1.60. Why do you like the favorite?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Bruins here. They are at home. They've been really good at home for what it's worth this season. And Michael Barnett, who's projected to be their starter in this matchup, in his last 4 starts, he's got a 2.92 ERA. At home, he is 7-0 with a 2.70 ERA compared to a 4.18 season-long ERA. And Zach Royce, the Game 1 starting pitcher for UTSA, on the season's got a 5.16 ERA. Last weekend, it was a complete blowout that he pitched in. There was really no game pressure against Kansas State. They won that game 10-2. A couple of runs were scored on him early in that matchup by the Wildcats. And I think that the Bruins were very impressive offensively in their regional that they hosted. And UCLA, they've got a great chance to get back to Omaha for the first time in a long time.
Very good. You can follow Noah on X. He is at NoahB77_, and he is with the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Does a great job covering college baseball. Noah, thanks for the time. Best of luck with the bets tonight and this weekend.
I appreciate you guys having me on.
There you go. And we got an email earlier today from Stuart, and the email is always open, ftm@vsin.com. He says, boys, I have never seen a stat line like this in any level of baseball, including Little League. In 5 games of the college baseball playoffs so far this year, Chad Gallagher of North Carolina.
Oh, yes.
Have you seen this?
They interviewed him after the game.
He's 17 of 23. That's a 739 clip with 3 home runs, 12 RBIs, and 9 runs scored. Holy hell. That is absurdly good. I don't think I've ever seen that before either. Video game stuff. And by the way, so we're going to be going...
We had a kid in high school, Eric Melvin, I think remember his name? Eric?
Hey.
Eric, what was his last name? The kid almost hit 500 for the year. High school baseball.
I think my cousin Greg hit like north of 600 one year. It was nuts. He ripping the cover off the ball.
This kid was like 4 for 5, and they're talking to him after the game, and he got the mustache and everything, and then they put his stats up. I'm like, what? Yeah. What is he? 17 of 22?
So we're stoked. We are going to Omaha, flying out of Vegas next Wednesday. We're doing shows on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. This show, Follow the Money, will be on in its normal time. There, for those of you coming outside of that region, to watch all the games. It's 3 to 6 in the afternoon. Money Moves will be there as well with Stormy and JVT. Their show is 11 to 1. We're also on the air. This is all going to be live from Rocco's, right across from the stadium, from what we understand. And on Saturday, our show is 9 to noon out there. So we'll be tracking all the Jell-O shots and the challenge that goes on. I'd like to have it. We had a big meeting on this today. I'd like to have Luke, our producer, said he'd like to maybe be in charge of that. Can he do that with update the odds as well on which university is going to take it down? And if you get an LSU type there or Tennessee, they're going to be overwhelming favorites, but you got to have some gambling involved here.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a lot of fun. Been to Omaha several times, but it's been about 11, 12, 13 years, something like that.
Looks like we'll see North Carolina there.
Well, Jeff Davis said that the other day. Yeah. He really liked their path. So things went quite well for them today. But I think you're going to like Omaha, Pauly. You're going to like the people. We're already set up quite well.
my people, yeah. Midwest.
Yeah. We're going to have, I think, what's going to be a fun and interesting lunch one of the days for sure.
I looked at Runza, too. And,
high marks?
They have the sandwich. Yeast dough bread pocket with a filling consistent of ground beef, cabbage, seasoning, baked into various shapes such as half moon, rectangle, round, square, triangle. Give me the fries. Sure, it looks pretty good.
Right
Get the sauerkraut out of here, though.
No, love sauerkraut.
Oh, no.
In Pocket Place next.
He knows the quarterback was on coke if his girlfriend was not.
These games are a burial, a blowout, a human lock. You can bet your children's children on these games.
I was so good that whenever I bet, I could change the odds for every bookmaker in the country.
You know it, Ace. Great movie. I like it more than Goodfellas. To each his own. Easy winner with the Astros. They took out the Pirates, no problem. Something to monitor. They're in Cleveland tonight. The Astros got in this morning. That was a long rain delay, and then the long game, and then the travel there in Cleveland. Do with that what you want. And a loser. Prop. Thunder to go unbeaten at home in the finals. Bye-bye. They blow the 9-point lead with 3 minutes left in the 15-point lead. It was the biggest they had, and the Pacers again shocked the world. Game 2 tonight, Stanley Cup. Game 2 Sunday, NBA. No hat trick. Minus 190, all before the series started. No shutout, minus 130. Under 1.5 games go to overtime. We're in trouble there. Off to a bad start. Florida in 6 plus 475. Bennett to win the Conn Smythe. 30-1. 10-plus goals in a game. No minus 170. And bad start here. Finals under 5.5 games. Under minus 130. All the pending. To the new. I'm looking forward to this. Bright and early. Sabalenka, minus 180 against Coco. She's up to 220 now, 215. And Alcaraz opened the favorite. Sinner now the favorite at DraftKings. Maybe a Walters head fake. I'll take Sinner, who hasn't lost a set yet in the tournament, to take out Alcaraz Sunday morning in the men's final. Good luck.
I have to say I'm pretty stoked how excited you are over the tennis.
It's been good.
That's really good.
That second set was awesome today with Sinner and Joker.
Grading the bets from last night. Holmgren, double-double, and lost both, but that was the same game parlay, so that's a loser. I think I'm going to dial back the same game parlays for good. Pete Crow Armstrong. That was a winner live on the show. Over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Hit a 2-run shot when we were live at the end of the show yesterday. That was a winner. Love that kid. He's going to win the MVP this year in the National League. And we'll be dancing in the streets till 3 a.m. NBA Finals, it's off to a bad start here. SGA to average under 33.5 points per game here in the finals. I did not know that he was going to turn into, 70-shot SGA in this. I mean, it was every single time down the floor. Pal, the guy's breathing on you. You're going to force it from 15 feet yet again? Come on. You need to facilitate a little bit more than that. But also went to the free throw line a lot in the fourth quarter. I still like my bet. I like where I'm at. Okay, some of the bets that I have for tonight. Padres, Brewers, Vasquez against Patrick. Patrick, not a bad start so far this year. His numbers at home are awesome. His numbers, like first time through, second time through the order, very good. Vasquez on the road, the FIP is like 5.4. The whip is 1.5, has a higher walk rate than he does a strikeout rate. His first time through is good. Second time through, not good. So I'm going to go Brewers first 5 here, minus a half, which is minus 110. Yelich, one of the hottest players in baseball. Total base prop tonight is plus 112. When I played that over at Caesars, I think it was earlier today. 458 batting average, 3 home runs in his last 7 games. Soderstrom for the A's, same thing tonight. Over 1.5 total bases, plus 115. I think it's a great matchup for him, and he's been hot. And I tweeted the story out from Mike Somich here at VSiN. He wrote a story back on May 22nd trying to find ways to fade the Rockies in every single game. And now they're at home tonight taking on the Mets, who just swept them. His breakdown was to search for RBI props, because a lot of the other stuff, like you're laying 2.5 or 3.5 runs, you're going to have to lay, $3 plus tonight with Senga in the game. The home run props are going to be so tiny. The team total on the other side is going to be 6.5 or 7.5 runs. Meanwhile, when the Tigers played there, May 7th and 8th, they played 3 games. One of them was a doubleheader. 10 out of the 12 batters recorded an RBI. The Padres, May 9th through the 11th, 8 out of 12 batters recorded an RBI. The Phillies, 4 games in 4 days, 9 out of 16 batters recorded an RBI. Alonso's number is like minus 140 tonight, but you can still find plenty of Mets players at plus money to have an RBI tonight, one of which is Juan Soto. Okay, Mike, I'm in. I'm tailing. Great. I was looking to find ways to fade Colorado as well. I'll do it this way. Juan Soto over half an RBI plus 105.
Okay. Player props if you want to get involved. Edmonds hitting 440 against Sonny Gray. Rushman, 400 against Sears. Henderson, 550 against Sears. Freeman, he's got the highest OPS in St. Louis, 39 games. What he's done, if you want to play his props tonight, Yelich is hitting 430 last 11 games as well. Devers hitting 385, 9 bombs last 26 games against the Yankees. Pirates, Phillies, rain delay. Red Sox, Yankees, rain delay. 1-0 Florida State on top of Oregon State. If you've been injured in Nevada in a car crash, a slip and fall, or because someone else was careless in moments like that, what you do next really matters. That's why you need Lasso Injury Law in Las Vegas. He's our lawyer. He's fantastic. Not your typical personal injury firm. He's a boutique law office that gives you one-on-one attention. At Lasso Injury Law, you're not just a case number. You're a real person with a real story, and they'll fight for you like family. Al was involved in the largest slip and fall verdict in the United States. He started his firm for a reason. His own brother was permanently disabled in a serious crash, and Al saw firsthand how the system can fail victims. He changed everything, left his business, went to law school, dedicated his life to helping people just like you. 20 years of experience, millions and millions recovered. Al and his team bring passion and purpose to every case, whether you're local or coming from out of state. Al put it simply, when someone's been hurt, they don't need excuses. They need answers, support, and results. Call 702-625-8777 for a free consultation. You'll reach a team that's ready to help. You won't hit voicemail. 702-625-8777. Lasso Injury Law, built on purpose, driven by results. He fights for you. LassoInjuryLaw.com.
Personal experience here. I was involved in a severe car crash 7-8 years ago. I was smoked by a 20,000-pound truck. Didn't know what to do. The engine of my car was cracked in half. I was in some bad shape. And we were on VSiN, right? Like the next day, we're going to be on the air. I'm like, Paul, come on. The medics were there. It was a total whirlwind, by the way.
How fast was the guy going?
Oh, way over the speed limit.
Oh, I can't imagine.
In that area. Fire trucks were on hand. I turn around. I'm like, what? The ambulance is here? I mean, you don't know what's going on. I call Al, I think it was that night, and immediately gets to work. Made me feel like not only like I was at home, but it felt like I knew the guy forever. And it was the first time I ever talked to him. There was no runaround. There was no BS. None of that typical stuff you're going to hear when you have to reach out to somebody when you're in need and you need some help from a lawyer. It was an awesome experience. Both Pauly and I can highly suggest it if you're ever in a pinch, if you ever need some help. He's the man to call.
After Megabucks, the first call, my mom. The next call, Al Lasso. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. When I got one of my accidents, the guy ran a stop sign. And, he's inching, he's trying to look out, can I make it? And then he panics and he accelerates and runs right into me. And he was probably going, I don't know, not even that fast. But I immediately felt the pain right here.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what you were going through.
Well, I felt like, honestly, my first reaction was it smelled like the car was going to blow up. It smelled like the whole car was on fire. So, I somehow have to get my way. And he hit the driver's side. And as you can imagine, the car is completely totaled. I had to try my best to get out of the car at that point because I thought it was going to blow up in a big ball of flames, which it didn't. And thank God, obviously. Yeah, that was something else. I hate to this day, it's difficult for me. And it's a very popular section of town. I'm not going to say where it's at. I still get the willies when I drive back in that area. I don't want to do it. And I'm like, I tell my wife all the time, I'm like, if we're going to go there, then you're going to have to be the one that drives.
Like Buckner walking back into Shea. I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. Well, the Suns could be tough in that spot. You never know. No score. Texas and Nationals underway here. Can Corbin keep this up?
Sure he
can.
What
a run this guy's on.
Yeah, they might. The Nerfy was the angle here tonight, too.
Yeah.
9-1 with the Nerfy so far with him. Very good.
3.3 runs per game, worse than the American League. Texas lost 12 of 16, 9-21 on the road. No shot in the arm getting Seager back either. Damn. What a disappointment this team's been. Are the Astros going to do this again?
Well,
doesn't
I hope
matter
not.
who they lose. Can't count on Seattle.
I thought it was, I made this bet on Seattle a while back at 33-1 to win the World Series, banking that this offense turned the corner, and it had for a minute. And at some point, they're going to get all their guys back in the pitching staff. And, just to tread water until then would have been great. And then they're blowing games and they're losing a series and getting swept by Baltimore?
Yeah.
What?
I know.
So the short answer here is yes, probably the Astros are going to do it again.
Coming up, VSiN Primetime, Humans and Will Hill. On today's show, they'll be talking UFC 316, plenty of baseball and NBA Stanley Cup as well. Sports Gambling Podcast, Sean Green, Ryan Kramer, 11 p.m. Eastern. Wake up tomorrow for the VSiN Weekend Morning Line at 10 a.m. Eastern as well. Have a good weekend, lot to bet on, cash some tickets.